Hey everybody, happy Friday. So I'm just following up on my video from last night regarding the indictment of former FBI Director James Comey. This is full-on weaponization of the Department of Justice, the FBI, and other federal law enforcement agencies. We are living in an authoritarian country. That is not hyperbole, but that is what is happening. That is the truth. Trump and his administration officials have fully weaponized law enforcement and the Department of Justice, the rule of law. They flipped it on its head and weaponized it against Donald Trump's political enemies. They've gone after James Comey. Next, they'll probably indict John Bolton. They want to go after John Brennan and a whole bunch of other government officials that Trump perceives, former government officials and others that Trump perceives as political enemies. And that's what authoritarians do. Trump also drafted an executive order calling Antifa a domestic organization and telling law enforcement to go after Antifa. First of all, Antifa is not an organization. There is no structure. There is no official membership. There is nothing in the federal statute labeling something as domestic terrorism. Doesn't exist in federal statute. But he's going to use this umbrella authority that he has created from an executive order to go after anybody he perceives as Antifa. Anybody who has spoken out against him, anybody who he perceives is engaged in violent action against him or others, regardless of if there is any evidence to indicate so. And he's using the recent developments, the assassination of Charlie Kirk, the recent shooting at the Dallas ICE office. He's going to use that as further justification that there is an Antifa and to go after anybody that espouses beliefs against his or MAGA. And again, these were lone individuals, lone actors. There is no evidence of any association with any group, organization, structure, or anything else like that. There is no evidence of any conspiracy, but he's going to use this to go after his political opponents and anybody that speaks out against him. Now, you may think that you live in the United States and this hasn't really affected you. Yeah, these are high-ranking former officials. They were involved in the government. Trump didn't like them. It's not going to affect me in my daily life. But yes, it is. It's going to affect anyone that actually speaks out against Trump because that's what they're working towards doing. You, me, anybody that speaks out and calls Trump and his supporters fascists and what they are doing are anti-democratic, they are going to come after. Now, they may not be able to eventually convict Comey or anybody else, but just launching an investigation and indicting somebody can ruin someone's life. You have to get attorneys. There's a big financial cost, and protecting yourself against this type of authoritarian rule, to protect yourself against an investigation. The FBI could dig through your entire life and completely destroy it without ever getting a conviction, because federal law enforcement has immense powers that they can use against the American people. They just haven't under any other administration in contemporary times because there were strict policies, procedures, and a rule of law that they had to follow. In this administration, any individual that acted as a guardrail is gone. So those policies and procedures are no longer going to be followed. It's clear that they're not being followed. The person that indicted or brought a joke case to a grand jury, was Trump's former attorney, never been a prosecutor, never prosecuted a case, and did this in a few days against Comey because Trump pressured the DOJ to do so. So this is going to continue to happen. It's going to get a lot worse, and it's going to get a lot scarier.